Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a random game in my gearing, going over the matchmaking, double Des Moines, Minotaur, Smolensk, double gearing, Shima, Grozavoy are the threats to my ship. The map is Atlantic, 3-cap domination. I spawn in the south, gonna be playing over A cap for at least the start of the game. And gonna give you a rundown on how I'm gonna play this. Now, taking a look at the spawn points, I've only got 3 ships down here. Obviously, this is a weak flank, so typically I can play this a couple different ways. If, for example, this was a strong flank, I would be pretty encouraged to stay a little tighter to my Des Moines, so I'm not rushing out getting vision as quick as possible for my team, but coming in here and basically just being, 3 kilometers, maybe 4 kilometers in front of the Des Moines, and just dropping a smoke screen right in here for the Des Moines and the rest of my team to use. Well, I basically slip over into the cap this way and try to spot things coming up the 2-3 line. And if a DD or anything comes up, I've got my Des Moines, his ability to use radar would be a very, very strong asset for not only myself, but my team in general. However, because this is such a weak flank, I'm going to forego the smoke. I'm rushing out here as quick as I can. And I want to try to get vision on the 2-3 line. This Yamato makes me think that the enemy team might be pushing A heavy. And with basically only, at this point, only my gearing in the Des Moines, this Kurfürst is really lagging behind. We wouldn't be able to withstand a hard push from the enemy team. So I know there's a DD over here. The Smolensk pops up. The DD just stepped on the cap. I only see these 4 ships here. We're still outnumbered. I'm dropping some predictive torps, guessing that this Kurfürst is going to swing out and try to push in here this direction. I do end up spotting the gearing. He's not running the legendary module, so I got the jump on him. And he's making the classic mistake of, I'm getting my torpedoes off and I'm not shooting the enemy DD. He can't do that against good DD players because his game's done. I mean, he's crippled at this point already, and, that fast, he's back to port. Now, one thing to notice about that engagement, I know I've got a Smolensk back there. They're a pain in the butt for DDs that get spotted to deal with. However, because I had spotted him early on, he started kind of kiting back, and when this fight, occurred, I basically turned, put my stern directly towards the Smolensk and the Kurfürst, and just kited straight away. And the end result is that DD never even bothered to use his guns. He ended up just getting hammered, and I picked up a cheap DD kill. Turning to make myself torpedo safe. This is a good bit of information. My gun bloom's up right now. Nobody's spotting me. I know there's likely no other DDs. You can see the utility that gearing got out of his torpedoes. I think that guy didn't even do a point of damage this game. And you just can't do that. It's as simple as that. That gearing had to shoot back at me. Had either that or had to smoke up and disengage. It is what it is. There's a reason why I do these videos, and it's to help guys like that understand what they should be doing. So I'm pushing right back in here. This Kurfürst, I'm looking, is this guy going to stop on the edge of cap, or is he going to try to actually push it? What's going on with this guy? Now, this is a bad torpedo position. So rather than trying to step on the cap, I'm willing to let this guy hang himself if he wants to push in the cap. He's starting to push now, and you can see me avoiding the cap and sailing this way. Eventually, you know, this Kurfürst has to angle at my Kurfürst. And when that happens, I'm predicting he's going to turn into my torpedoes. Honestly, I should have held on to these torpedoes a little bit longer, launch them probably right now. I would have gotten a much better angle here. I thought he was going to angle a lot sharper than he actually did. Now, he doesn't really react to my my torpedoes, he just eats them, so it makes me think that he's already blew his hydro getting down here, or he's just forgotten about it entirely. And I'm just going to use my smoke, see if we can't finish this guy off, because he's big time overextended. He's got 2 fires now. I know he's not long for this world. Trying to get the 3rd fire on his stern. I was getting ready to bail on the smoke, and then I saw that, you know, he was pretty much turned out away from me and dying, so was able to pause at the last minute, get a little extra damage in. So, unfortunately, the enemy team just surrenders A. And that leads into a really long, boring stern chase. And I've been having a lot of these games recently where it's just luck of the draw. You know, you get some, you know, you pick up an early kill, whatever. Particularly if you kill the DD. Cruisers and battleships tend to just abandon the flank en masse. And that's what you're seeing right here. The guys that could get away, they're just noping out and running for BCAP, running towards support. Now, this is a screw up for me. I don't run defensive fire anymore on my DDs. If I've got the option to choose another consumable, this would be a fantastic opportunity to be using speed boost to hasten my trip to, you know, really being useful for the team. I mean, theoretically, I'm being useful right now, spotting these guys. I'm contemplating torping, but it's you know, horrible torp angles plus my gearing. He's pushing in here right now. You know, I'm just going to hold on to the torpedoes and wait for a better opportunity. And that's something that I see a lot of DD players mess up. They just launch those torpedoes as quick as they can. Now, if I had launched my torpedoes, I would have not been able to launch in this position. Yamato, he started turning in. He's going to start pushing across BCAP. So he's actually giving me a broadside shot, plus the Smolensk stopped and smoked up. So I put 1 on the Yamato, 1 into the smoke for the Smolensk. Maybe it can catch the Yamato. Maybe it can catch the Des Moines. There's a lot of stuff going on back there. I see my gearing is going to be able to spot the Des Moines, or the Yamato. So I go on ahead and I drop my 2nd smoke of the game. And just start going to town on this guy. I get lucky with my prediction, and he basically eats 2 out of each launcher. I'm going to step out. Just want to make sure that this Yamato goes down. He goes down to my flooding, and I'm just going to keep moving. Me being out of the smoke, I'm spotting the Des Moines. Des Moines takes a big hit. There's my cue, baby. Don't let these low HP targets hang around to heal up. Punch their clock if you've got the HP. You know, send them back to port. That's your job as a DD. Don't make the battleship, you know, waste a a 30-second reload to punch a ship's ticket that only has 1 or 2,000 HP. Um, you know, you better have a really good excuse not to be shooting those targets and helping your battleships out in those instances. A good excuse could be something like a Smolensk, 8-9 kilometers away from you, that's going to rip you apart, and you don't have smoke to disengage or something like that. Um, but really, you need to be aggressive about cleaning up those kills. Um, don't let your battleships have to waste one of the few volleys they're going to get off over the course of the game on something that meager. My Kurfürst is on fire. He just smacked the Smolensk, and I'm pushing up, and I'm kind of seeing something happen. I know this Smolensk is probably going to smoke here shortly, and I also see the Minotaur. There's the smoke. So I'm gonna put one into that smoke. I'm gonna put one in behind the Republic, and now I'm gonna rush the Minotaur because obviously this game is a stomp. I want nothing to do with trying to cap this point. I want this game to go on as long as possible. So I'm gonna rush up here and see what I can do to spot everything, and ideally pick a fight with the Minotaur and see what kind of further damage I can get. Smolensk pops up. He's low HP. I had AP already loaded for the Minotaur, and yeah, they're armored like paper. You just go right through them. So Minotaur, I'm just gonna be bow on to him. I don't want to get too close to him where I'm easy to torpedo, or his bow and stern guns can start pinning through the flared sections of my ship. You notice, you see I'm slowing down out here, 3-4 kilometers. That's the kind of happy distance. Grozavoy pops up, and switching back to HE. Now I do make a mistake here. I didn't see that my turret had already rotated around. I thought it was back on this backside. I'm trying to bring that third gun into the fight, and basically turned the wrong way, and that's a mistake. I should have been able to kill that guy without actually dying myself, but I was able to pick up the kill for the Kraken. And that's a decent gearing game right there. I knew the XP was going to be insane because just that one gearing you know, that was a lot of damage on that gearing, plus uh, decent chunks of damage all over the place with the Grozavoy, with the Minotaur. It all adds up. 83,000 spotting damage. That big stern chase, it did have the added benefit getting some spotting damage in for the team. Not that much in the way of capture points. The main thing was I was trying to provide vision for my team, and by the time the enemy team was crumbling, I didn't want to, assist in any capture points because, um, if I hadn't picked up the damage on the Minotaur, hadn't picked up the kill on the Grozavoy, uh, and I had helped cap B cap, even if I cap B cap, myself, I would not have gotten as much XP as I did, playing for the damage. So always something to consider when you're grinding ships, or just trying to get the most out of your stats. When you got a game beat, don't keep capping. Go after the damage, and you know boost the reward you're going to get out of it. Now obviously if it's a close game, You've only got one, two ship advantage, something like that, or the enemy team has an HP advantage. If there's the potential your team could throw or lose the game, you play it safe. Go for the caps, and make sure you get that cap pressure working against the enemy team. But otherwise, why not play for the damage? This game was, pretty much a stomp. So there's no need to, you know, make this game end early. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this gearing game. Haven't really featured this ship in a while, off the top of my head. Uh, so was playing it, trying to knock out U.S. destroyer um, XP for naval battles, and obviously this game contributed quite a bit. So anyway, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Hope you guys are having a good night, and I will talk to you later.